What's up, everyone? So, continuing with the obscure PlayStation 2 games I feel like talking about as of late, we're going to look at this one today. The Chikuboegun Tactics, which is Earth Defense Force Tactics. I totally forgot the English name there. But yes, Earth Defense Force Tactics, which, if you know Earth Defense Force, it's kind of cheesy and cheaply made, killing giant bugs. It's like a 1950s science fiction movie made into a game with the same kind of production quality. So if you can imagine that kind of thing transported to a strategy RPG, here it is, Earth Defense Force Tactics. This wasn't released in the US, only released in Japan and Europe, but let's take a look at it.
Alright, so let's take a look at the old Earth Defense Force Tactics. So you can see it's a simple series game for the PlayStation 2, and it's simple series. So if you know what simple series is, it's kind of the simple, it's like low budget games. So it's just budget titles basically, and the simple series was like a big one in Japan. And sometimes like there were some pretty good games in there, like Earth Defense Force and Zombies versus Ambulance and stuff like that. But there's a lot of garbage in there too, so you can't buy every one and expect something awesome. But this one is alright. It does its job. So I'll show you I'll just do one of the early maps that are fast, so you can see how the game plays. But we'll do the scenario, and we'll continue, and we'll do the second stage. So here we have my troop selection, and okay, it's already set, or not. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is actually selecting weapons. So like the regular Earth Defense Force games, after you clear a stage, you'll get new weapons for each character, which is cool. I mean, you get like a good amount of stuff going on as you continue on with the game. So that's always cool. Let's give that guy something. You can also see that there's a lot of different unit types. There's these are ground units. These are heavy weapon ground units. These are medics. These are jetpack units, and there's, I think, 2 or 3 different types. Ones that can only attack the air, and ones that can attack both air and ground. And then there's some tanks, and this is a hover bike. So here's all my units. I just selected all by hitting start, and we'll get into the game. So you can see it's not the hottest graphics. The music in this game is actually pretty good. It's like totally captures the feel of the sci-fi, and there's like plentiful theremin use. But yeah. So the beginning turn here, it's all about selecting your units. So you can see this is what the map looks like. Here are the giant ants, some spiders. There are other things. Ships, aliens, and Godzillas and stuff show up later in the game, but those maps would take too long to show you in like a short amount of time. So I'm just going to do a simple one, and I will turn on the animations for a little bit because they're pretty long, but it'll give you here I'm selecting units, so I'll do that first. But I will turn on animations so you guys can see what the animations look like. It's not too bad. I mean, not too bad for Earth Defense Force. It's just Earth Defense Force. But, there's good stuff in there. So, select every turn you can put out 5 units per base that you have. You can see these bases aren't taken. These aren't full bases. These are like support buildings. But the more you capture, the more items you'll get after you clear the stage. But first, let me. So this should be important. If you're going to play this in Japanese, it's not that hard. Except you'll want to know this. This is the option menu, the second one down on the map, and this is the background music on, animations Right now they're off because there's a loading time in between the animations and it slows the battles down really a lot. But I'll turn them on so you can see that, and then I'll turn it off as the match goes on. This is for turning on the hex of the map. This is a guide. The guide's display, I guess. It's the speed. And this is the movement speed. Right now I'm on slow, so I'll put it on high. And this is checks for collecting items or buildings, and this is checks for destroying items or buildings, and this is vibration, and this is game quit. So let's give it a shot. So first turn, here we go. You can see the aliens, the bugs, captured buildings. The yellow guys are actually other Earth Defense Force teams. So you have a support team. They're not a support team. They're like a extra enemy computer controlled team. So here I'll move my tank, and the first attack, you can see this will show you how much damage you'll do. So you can see when I attack he'll die. So dead. And it's pretty simple. It's not like, it is simple series, but it's simple in this, and pretty easy to handle. If you've never played like a strategy, like a hex kind of battle strategy game like this one is, you'll it's easy to get into. And this isn't like an RPG, but it plays like Military Madness a bit. If you've ever played that on the TurboGrafx, I think it's on. It might be on some other stuff too, but I know it's on the TurboGrafx because I had that when I was a kid. But yeah, this game, it's pretty quick. Oh wait, when I attacked, it didn't show the animation, did it? And there's no background music playing. It's weird. Oh, I didn't save it. Right? Yeah, okay. That explains it. I didn't save the settings, I did. Okay. So now we'll end the turn, and turn 2. You can see the enemies will move, and when the enemies attack me, the animations will come on. So you can see how they look. But there's loading every time there's an attack. So they're classic Earth Defense Force graphics. And I dodged. And a counterattack. That's basically how it works. There's my jetpack unit. She might get hit. Oh. Yeah, so counterattack. And go. So you can see there's not actually... I'll wait for some of those flying units too, and then after you've seen all the units that are on the map, I'll turn off the animations because they take a long time. So yes, you know what? I totally forgot to add troops this turn. There's my tank. I should call it a hover bike so you can see that. But here we'll capture some buildings. That's the first choice when you're on a building that can be captured. And done. No, okay. Yeah, I totally forgot to add units. That's bad. Each unit has like a certain amount of gas or like energy that they can use besides their power. They have a life bar, but these flying units have actual like gas in their jetpack. So if they run out, they're going to die. But unlike these units all have levels and things too. So you can see you can't see it on this screen, but they all have levels, and they will level up if you kill stuff with them. So that's always nice. But another thing is that the units themselves don't really die. So what I mean is that when you use them, if they die in battle, you can re-summon them from any base as long as you have a base open. So if somebody dies, you can just use the base again and call them back. So it's unlike like a strategy RPG or something where if a character dies, you can't use it for the rest of the battle. In this one, you can just call them back. It's just that simple. So you can see it's pretty forgiving. Although, just like your standard Earth Defense Force, the amount of aliens that come out are excessive. So as you go along, if you don't kill things quickly, the bugs and things will start multiplying. They'll get more and more, and you won't be able to win by the end. Okay, there's a flying one, so I can turn off the animations. No, I gotta use a hover bike. So once I use the hover bike, we'll turn off the animations because they take a long time. So you can see, actually, most ground units can't attack units in the air. So I couldn't counterattack on that last one against the flying unit. But this unit can kill the flying unit. So there's certain enemies that, have certain types of damage that they can do. So some of the bugs can't attack enemies in the air. So if you send a bunch of air units towards them, they won't be able to attack them. So you can just kind of kill them at will until you run out of gas or you kill them all. And other units are, these ground units can't attack anything that's not on the ground. But you can see he does a lot more damage than the air unit does against this particular type. So it's just a matter of, like any other kind of strategy game, it's a matter of picking the right units to fight the right enemies. And there are big tank-like bugs later on. They're big beetles that will give your tanks to kind of run for their money. But at this point in the game, when you have tanks, you just blow through everybody because the strongest enemy is a spider right now, and it dies pretty quickly with tanks. But yeah, this game, it's made by Sandlot, who did all the other Defense Force games, and it's not the greatest game. I mean, it's cheap looking. It actually reminds me of a TurboGrafx game, like the graphics and everything. It's not a high quality game by any means, but even when it came out, it was only like a $20 budget title. So you can't really fault it. It's not like it claimed to be a super good game and then ended up being this. Claimed to be a budget title and ended up being one. So you can't really fault it for that. And I don't, because it's still relatively fun, even though it's got terrible graphics and is relatively simple for a strategy game. But if I had bought this when it came out for full price, I wouldn't have been disappointed. I would have known exactly what I was getting, and I would have been pretty happy with it. So I can't complain. Okay, so I should take that other thing. Okay, so this should be over pretty quickly. I think in this one I have to capture the enemy base. Usually for most of the battles, your goal is to only capture the flashing enemy bases or kill all the enemies. And most of the time, if you just capture their base, which is this flashing one, you'll win. So I'll just do that and we'll end the video because you got a good idea. I'm going to use the hover bike first so you guys can see the animations. Then I'll turn it off. But yes, hover bike. Doesn't do that much damage, you can see, but it moves fast. That's the bonus of the hover bike. And it can't be counterattacked by ground units. Another bonus to the hover bike. So you can see me fly out with my hover bike. So there you go. So I'll actually turn out the animation so this goes by quicker. So again, the second one down, flip it to off, hit the O button to verify, and then you're good to go. that's definitely something you want to watch out for. The enemy there was trying to take the base, and if the enemies take a base, they'll spawn a ton more enemies right on top of you. So you have to watch out for that. But other than that, not too many tips for this. Later on, it gets more difficult, where there's like huge swarms of enemies, and you have to kind of wade through them to their base and capture it before dying. Which, you know, it's fun. It's not it's not an incredibly well balanced game or anything, but you know, as you play, if you get into it, it's not that bad. I don't need to summon anything more, so you can see. But actually, the music in the menus is really good. So now it's just kind of this like dramatic music going on here with drums, but it actually does get kind of sci-fi-ish in the menus, which is shouldn't have done that. Okay. Okay, see, without the animations, it actually, the battles go by really quickly, and you'll find that you can kind of get through one level in about 10 to 15 minutes, which is nice. It's it's not overly time consuming, and you can play at your leisure, I guess. Something because this is kind of like a side game in the series, like, I think a lot of people haven't heard about this one, even people who are fans of Earth Defense Force, which, because it was only released in Japan and limitedly in Europe, and I'm not even sure if it was released all throughout Europe or just in certain countries in Europe. But I know, like some other Simple Series games, they just didn't get a wide release because obviously they aren't going to sell a lot as kind of cheaply made budget games. But if anyone in Europe happens to see this and has this game, which if you notice any differences, please comment below, I guess, because it would be interesting to see what was different. But I'm not expecting many people to have this outside of in all honesty, I've only seen this game once in Japan when I bought it, and I've never seen it since. So it must not have been incredibly popular at any point. But I'm going to win in 2 turns here, I think. So I'm just going to end the turn, even though I have a lot of guys that can still move. Okay. Oh, what? These guys. The computer went and attacked the base for me, I guess. But it's going to actually take longer for them to do it, which is lame. Let's see. I should have won this already, but the computer is taking the base instead of me, which is lame. So I'll take this one. Okay, so probably one more turn and we'll be done with that. Or not. Why? Oh. I really want to get these guys off of there. They're so slow. Ah, well, what we'll do is... we don't want to do that. Fight some more blind stuff while we're waiting. So, you can see the computer will do whatever they want in this kind of thing. Usually they just kind of hang out in a corner and die. They will attack and everything, but they don't have like a strategy in the sense of like, they have something they want to do. They just blindly attack until they either die or kill the enemy. Which, you know, it's kind of useful, but, you know, not especially effective. So, hopefully this will end. There we go. Okay, so there ended the mission. It took a long time because that guy was damaged, so his ability to take over the areas was diminished. You can see I got a S rank for that. And here are I got some new units, and I got some, this is units leveling up, and this is the weapons I got. So do I want to save? Sure. But that's generally it. That's essentially how the game goes. It gets, you know, obviously there's more enemies later on, bigger, there's spaceships and kind of robots and monsters and things that show up. And that's, you know, just like any Earth Defense Force game, it's essentially how it works. So we'll get a listen to the menu music at least, and then I'll call this a video. So you can see it's pretty rockin', actually. It's got copious amounts of theremin going on and some rockin' guitar and drums. So yeah, I guess that will be the end of this look at Earth Defense Force Tactics. So until I have another game I feel like talking about, I'll see you guys next time.